Well. Thank goodness it's Monday, and oh no, I don't want to say that, do I? Yes.
Monday starts the week, and we're one day closer to Friday. So go, yeah, it's good.
Well, actually, it's the
Ooh,
Monday. Monday is the best day of the week because it's the furthest day from the next Monday, which is the worst day of the week. Good morning.
okay.
I'm Rayford Brown,
Good morning. I'm Lee
and it's
Barrows.
going to be one of them there days.
Well, obviously,
So,
started off good.
yeah, Kelly's on her way. She got the note right here. It says, "I'm a coming. I'll be there in a minute.
I'll be there in a minute.
Be
That's
right.
right.
Be right there." So, anyway, how was your weekend?
My weekend was very purposeful. I went to go see family in
Oh, okay.
Hampstead on Saturday, and I
Did you get a
actually drove into
did you
Hampstead.
take your passport to go?
No, I actually got in there, no issues, and got out, no.
Okay.
I even got to the light where I need to turn, and it was green when I got there. And I was like, wow, I don't have to sit through 5 cycles.
Did you get a lottery ticket while you were there?
No, I did not.
Well, if you're having luck like that, let me just tell y'all
I
something.
should.
Stop and go ahead and spend $2 and get
Yes.
yourself a lottery ticket, just in case. And that way, one day you can say, "Oh yeah, that was great advice. I should have done that before."
You know,
Then you would have been rich a lot earlier. Or
I
you would
tell
have
my,
got a $2 scratch off.
I tell myself all the time, come on, you go get a lottery ticket for the kicks of it. I mean, I never win anything, but
Well, I tried that. I gave myself 6 months.
did you?
I did.
So 6 months you gave to the NC lottery.
I did. Once a week, I bought one lottery ticket.
Right.
There was one week I bought 3 or 4.
Right.
But I bought one lottery ticket. I got, I think, 2 like $3 or $4 things.
Yes.
Didn't even pay for the lottery tickets that I got over a period of a month.
My dad, he was so I'll never forget the morning he called me and said, I need you to take me to Raleigh. What do you need, Dad? I won. You won what? Well, I played the lottery and I won $10,000. And I'm like, what?
Was he kidding?
He was serious.
Did he do it?
No, because as the story goes, I said, well, we can go to Wilmington. It's a lot closer. And I'll be glad to drive you. There is a fee involved if you won $10,000.
I get
Just
8.
kidding. No, and he called me back later that day and said, "Oh, I read it wrong. It was only $10." I'm like, oh, darn it for him.
How did he make? Okay,
that was my dad. Now he
Yeah,
just got so excited he misread the zeros.
No, just like because he got one anything.
Yeah, him and my brother are the same way.
For $10, I probably would have gone to Raleigh to get it. So y'all give me the money.
I want to go to Raleigh soon anyway. I want to go to the Capitol.
Why?
I just want to go to the General Assembly. I want to spend a day there. I find it interesting. I spent quite a bit of time. I spent all day Friday watching the vote for Johnson to be re-elected as the Speaker of the House.
Whoa, wait a minute. You want to go to Raleigh? Johnson was not in Raleigh.
I know that, but I'd love to go to Raleigh to watch our local legislators.
The local stuff. Okay,
gotcha. But I'm into all that stuff because I spent Friday watching what happened with Mike Johnson.
I'd hate you to drive all the way to Raleigh, think you're going to watch the Speaker of the House and the U.S. House.
I just call him.
Oh, gotcha. Hey, Mikey, give us a call.
Hey, Mike, give us a call.
Yeah, I wonder if these guys ever vacation in this neck of the woods and listen in. They should. That would be great.
They're missing something, aren't they? Well, I know that on occasion our Congressman Murphy listens because he clicks the like button, and I've even seen Tom Tillis click the like button. I've seen or Senator Tillis. So, as far as
anyway, welcome to week number 2, the first full week of the brand new year that we're in now. It's not going to be brand new much longer.
Yeah.
After this week is just another week.
Just another week.
Just another Monday.
Today is going to be interesting.
Why?
Because today they certify the elections. And Kamala.
What day is today?
Oh, this is that day.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Kamala has to certify
She's
it.
not even there.
She's got to certify the winner.
She's on vacation.
Yeah, she's going to be today in D.C.
Maybe.
She's got to be there.
She'll phone it in.
She's got to be there.
Well, I think she's going to probably say, I don't think this is right.
You know what? That's got to be.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
That's got to be dreadful, knowing that you had to walk in there and certify the winner.
No. You're wrong. That's not what she's doing. She's certifying that she lost. That's the way that paper should read. I certify that I lost this election.
Does anybody know what time it starts? I've got to look it up and see.
But,
I want to know if I have time to go to Lowe's before I go home.
11:59 p.m.
Oh, well, I hope so, because that'll give me time to go to Lowe's.
What you got to go to Lowe's for?
Paint.
Paint?
I'm redoing a bedroom in the house. It's going from being a little boy's room to a young man's room. So
A little boy's room. You don't have any little boys.
I have a grandson.
Well, that's
okay. They each have a room in my house for when they come.
Oh, I'm glad you don't have more grandchildren.
Mm.
That would be a problem.
Yeah, somebody be sleeping in tents.
You ever thought about building maybe some bunk beds?
I had bunk beds at one time, and they both slept in the same room because they loved the bunk beds. What kid doesn't love bunk beds?
I know. Until they fall off the top one time.
But they won't use the ladder. They climb up the ends,
of course, and step on each other's face.
They reach their hand up and they hit the ceiling, but they love them. They love bunk.
The extended family, the greater brand, it was a clan, basically. Not that kind of clan, the one with a C. It's
okay.
It's not a KLA, it's a CLA. It's a Scottish thing.
I gotcha.
Okay, so anyway, in the boys' room, we had a boys' room, had a girls' room. Well, in the boys' room, in this 8-bedroom facility,
right?
All the bedrooms except one is a 9-bedroom downstairs for the grandparents. They had their own room, but we had this boys' room, and we had a set of bunk beds.
Oh yes.
Well, my family's frugal. And so they built the bunk beds, of course. They had plenty of lumber because that's all they did was work with wood. And they didn't get any springs to go with this event.
Oh.
My uncle, a couple of them, including my dad, ex-Navy guys, World War II. They got some big old truck inner tubes. And they cut them up into rubber strips about 2 inches wide.
There you go.
And they tied them across the bed.
Right. And then put the mattress on it.
Put the mattress on top of it.
That's smart.
You know what was really cool? Was you in the bottom bunk.
Was there a lot of bouncing?
No, you take and pull that rubber strap down and turn loose and let it go. Whap!
That's just wrong. That is wrong.
Anybody else do fun stuff like that?
Yeah.
Have we introduced us yet?
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
I think.
No, we didn't, did we?
This is Lee Barrows over there.
And this is Rayford Brown.
That's us. And over here in this corner, the empty chair. She'll be here in a minute.
She ghosted us.
She'll be here in a minute, or 2 or 3 or 4.
She will be.
So, but when she gets here, I've got something for her.
Well, yeah.
Especially waiting for her.
Well, I want to, because I know you both watched it. I watched it. I went back after the fact and watched it.
Watch what?
And the awards that President Biden gave out.
I felt so bad for him.
He did. He
did well in the beginning.
Yes, he did. And then when he was putting the ones that were present, and when he was putting the ribbons on them, they were just like all knotted up and twisted. But the one guy
he straightened it out, the Medal of Honor winner.
Yes,
the one who was living.
Yes, the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I want to say something about all that. But I'll wait till Kelly comes in. But yeah, I noticed when he put the ribbon on him, it looked like it was choking the man. It was way up in here.
Well, he had a turtleneck something on.
Well, he had a large neck too
for his uniform.
Right,
part of his uniform, and it was like. It was a lot of material up there.
Yeah, God bless him. He wore a uniform to signify his military
It was not
time.
one in his younger days, because I saw a photograph of him from his younger days, and he wouldn't have fit that uniform.
Oh, he was
at all
larger?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Not taller, but larger. He's larger now than he was then.
Yeah. So. I just, it just made me sad. Mm-hmm. Made me very sad. We were talking about the Medal of Honor winners, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly is here now. And Kelly's getting her stuff together over in this corner. She's going through her purse. Oh boy.
She's got to get her glasses. It's almost time for weather.
This is radio. You don't have to worry about
I have to
glasses.
be able to read the weather for you.
We'll just make it up as you
Make
go
it up.
along. Do it like what normal weather guy does. Just make it up.
It may
It'll be
rain,
all
it
right.
may
Yeah,
not.
it might do something today.
Yeah, it's going to do something.
You
I
know
don't
how
know
many
what it's going
times
to be,
the
but this
weather-
one's for you, Kelly.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Let's hear.
She said, just a moment, please. I can't find my keys. And here's what happened while he's waiting for a treat.
I like that.
Out lipstick powder.
First of all, where do you find this stuff? Is the first thing.
Can't find her
And
keys.
2, I'm not late because I couldn't find my keys. I'm late because of my mother.
Candy bars, but you can't find her
I
keys.
can't blame her. It's Mama. But it is because of her.
I just like the song. I remember the
What?
song back in the 50s.
I like that song.
I've never heard the song. At least I-
Well, now you have.
Yes.
And why was she trying to find her keys standing there on the front porch?
Why? Where was she going?
Because she
To the
was
grocery
hoping for a
store?
Because
kiss.
he was standing there waiting for a goodnight kiss, but
Uh-huh.
she couldn't find her keys, so she
See?
was going through all that stuff.
It's
So
always the
So
guy's
this
fault.
was a ploy to drag out the kiss?
this was a ploy because she was.
Or because she did not want to give him a kiss?
Let's just
No,
say it's always
she
the
couldn't find
guy's
her
fault.
keys. It wasn't a guy's fault. She couldn't find her
It
keys.
was. She was mesmerized by his
Why,
intense, charming self.
well, then why did the parents have the door locked?
Well,
Oh,
don't
God,
you?
we're gonna
don't you-
dissect
Didn't your
all
parents
this.
lock the door when you going to be coming in late?
Well, no, my mother had the door
Oh,
locked.
she was there with the gun.
No, she wasn't there with a gun, but she had the door unlocked.
She should have been there with a gun.
Back in those
She was
days,
waiting
you
up
can
in the
leave your
den.
door
Oh.
unlocked
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
You can go to bed with your door
Yeah,
unlocked.
we
but
never
not
did
anymore.
that at all, but
Not
Yeah.
anymore.
I don't.
My
go-
sister likes to leave her
I don't go
keys
to the-
hanging in the door when she goes. She texted me the other day.
What?
Well, I got up looking for my keys and found them in the front door again. I'm like, good
I have a
Lord,
friend that does that. I'm like, somebody's just going to come in your house one day. Like, seriously.
I'm going to find her a screen door to put on there, an outer door.
So I don't use keys. I have a keypad. So, yeah. I don't need a key for this reason. My kids
I
were
hope
always
it's battery
losing it.
powered, and I hope you check your battery off
Oh, you
Okay,
can
it is
backup
battery
keys.
powered, but you have a backup key.
That's right.
if you can find it.
There's
I
backup
have to
keys.
remember where I put it. That is a true statement, Rayford, and I thought about that this weekend. But
Oh,
I will find it, but
Lordy,
yeah.
Lordy. So, how was your weekend? I know how Kelly Lee's was.
mine was good.
Okay.
I think I sent Lee down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. You kept me busy this
yeah,
weekend.
with
I
some
had to
stuff,
catch
but
up
yeah.
on everything.
Mhm.
I had to catch up on the Medal of Honor recipients.
Yeah.
I caught up on the Medal of Freedom recipients, which I don't know if you saw that, but
did.
I disagree with some of them that received it.
I disagree with a
Others-
lot of things, but
others-
it's the people disagree with me all the time. That's okay.
Well, others,
That's
I
what
know
the
who
world
I
is about.
disagree with.
others that I thought were very deserving of it.
Most
And-
mornings, my other me doesn't agree with me,
Yeah.
and I never agree with him or her.
Am I missing something, Kelly?
It's
Help
his
me.
alter ego. It's okay.
Well, it's just like getting on the Medal of Honor. I said I was
Yeah.
going to wait to get very deserving of the ones that got it, but why? Why do we have to wait 50 to 60 years?
There is
To
a
do this.
process, and John Legato was in here last week, and
Yes, he was.
and there is a process. We're going to learn a little bit more about that flawed process here.
Yes, very
shortly.
flawed.
I know it's flawed because
Right.
Mr. Legato and I have had conversations for any number of years now
Charlie.
about how flawed the system is.
Right.
So,
I
anyway.
mean, I knew that because listening to John Legato speak on that this past week and in the past,
Mhm.
where he worked so hard to get Canley, was Master Sergeant
Yeah.
Canley,
Canley.
I had Medal of Honor, and I know how hard everyone's working that's involved to get Major Capers one,
Mhm.
and it shouldn't take this long. It's
I agree with
ridiculous.
that.
50, 60 years.
But
The more
some
I
of
saw-
some heroics that they talked about that these people did, holy
Well,
cow.
you know,
Yes.
you've got, and we'll
I-
talk about it a little bit later on because we do have a caller. But you know, some of those things, even back then, people did not come running home and say, you know, I did this and this and this and this and this. First of
True.
all, they were so freaking happy
Mhm.
I
not to have
understand.
that uniform on.
Oh, I
And at a
understand.
time when people during the 60s and early
Mhm.
70s, when there were people out there who just spit on them when they showed up at home.
Major
They did
Capers.
not want any of their stuff. You know, they avoided that kind of distinction. Anyway, we'll go into that a little bit
Oh,
later
you
on.
got me going.
Good morning. May I ask who this is, please? You're live and local.
Yeah, hi. My name is Charlie.
Charlie.
Good morning, Charlie.
Charlie. Well, you're not Smokey because that would be Smokey Bear.
What?
Charlie. Is there a character named Charlie somewhere out there?
I do a lot of voices, but I'm not going to do any voices. Do you guys like impressions?
I hear voices in my
Oh,
head
I
a
wanna
lot, but I
hear one.
love impressions.
No, I want Charlie
You
to do it.
want to hear one of the best Ronald Reagan impressions?
Oh, yeah,
yes.
please.
Well, this is Ronald Reagan, and we're going to bomb in 5 minutes. Barishnikov, put down those weapons.
Oh my gosh, that is so good.
Nancy wants to have a chat with you.
Oh, that was great, Charlie.
Nice job, Charlie.
Oh my gosh.
You want to hear another one?
I'll do Kamala.
Oh,
And that's what I feel. Listen. When I was president of the United States, I would say to Hillary, I said, listen, I don't want you inside the Oval Office because I'm going to put my oval into her office. I just need you to stay away, okay?
okay. I'll do that.
Was that Bill Clinton?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope
That was
so.
good.
Listen,
That was good.
listen, this whole thing with these freedom medals, I'm not even sure what the hell they're called.
Medal
Do
of
you
Freedom.
actually believe, does your audience actually believe that Joe Biden woke up one morning and went into the Oval Office and said, you know what, I'm gonna research all these people in the history of the United States that are currently still alive, and I'm gonna award them with this Medal of Freedom. I'm gonna make sure they're acknowledged. He has no clue what he's doing.
Well, first of
That's
all,
obvious.
let's go back to your opening sentence right there when you ask a question. You ask, does your audience really believe that Joe Biden woke up one morning? We can stop right there. Seriously.
Okay.
That was enough because no, I don't believe he wakes up in the morning. I think somebody
Well-
throws him out of bed.
Well, I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're all going to get old.
Yes, we already are. Some of us.
There's some really good. Hey, I remember how I introduced you guys to a person on Twitter a couple weeks back called Cat Turd.
I've
Are you
been,
guys still following this person?
I am, and I've been reading his tweets, and I watched a interview he did with Tucker Carlson.
Oh, cool. What was my question? My question was, who's the guy named Raskin? Remember that guy who's a Democrat? Who's
Jamie
ranking
Raskin.
high?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy is really out of his mind.
Yes, I agree.
This is a truly disturbed human being. You know what? You want people in political office to maybe call out people that are completely full of it, but they refuse to acknowledge when somebody's completely full of it that isn't in their party line. Like if Trump is completely full of it, I'm like, yeah, destroy the guy, ruin his life, talk about him, do everything, whole thing. There's something wrong with the mindset of these people on the left. I mean, you guys, hopefully, I don't know if you're going to get into it. You know, there was a vote in the last day or two where they talked about deporting illegal aliens that have been convicted of raping kids or women. And so many of the Democrats voted against that.
Yeah.
They
Well,
should know.
I will vote against it. They should be in prison where they belong in this country. They're not going to be in prison in another country. We deport them. The little boogers are going to come right back in here and do it again. If we got them in prison, they ain't going to do it again. Now, if they want to castrate them and deport them, I'm in favor of that.
But I'm not sure if you research it, but you got to go look at the vote.
Yeah, I know. I understand what
I
you're
think
saying.
Every Republican voted to deport them.
Mm-hmm.
A vast majority of Democrats said no, keep them.
Yeah, I know.
It's like what's through their
It's
mind?
just a thing in them. They just will not do it, period. Bottom line, because that's against their psychic. They just don't believe that we should be deporting anybody. They work to get here.
But hold on, but let me ask you a very serious question. Do you think in their true mindset that they have absolute purity and they want these foreigners from other countries to come to this country? Or do you think they just want the vote so they can corrupt our current system to get to favor them in the long run?
Well, the vote's going to be a long-term thing. They will not be turning over. They can to believe it or not, in some local elections, they can vote the day they walk into this country illegally. They can apply for it, and it may be a little bit of an exaggeration, probably is, but with short order, they can get a driver's license, they can get a library card, and they can get a voter registration in some California places. You know that. You live there. and vote in local elections
so
only, not in federal elections.
I agree. Hey, you guys, what are your thoughts on when people call to show identification when voting? They say it's racist against blacks. Well, wait a minute. Why? That makes no sense. Blacks
No.
are just as smart as Asians, Koreans, North Koreans, South Americans. Why do you think they say that?
I don't think that they. Let me just put it this way. I've never run across an African American individual who screamed and hollered at me that, hey, the only reason they want me to show an ID is because they're racist. I find other people who are saying that, not to me, but to other people who are saying that on the mass media, but they're being led by an organization of somebody for some reason just to cast problems, create problems for a society like us who want people to have voter registration, because I want to know that these people are voting legally in this country. Go to another country if you want to try to vote there and let me know how it works out for you.
So let me ask you this. This is my last question I'm going to ask you because I'm going to fade away from society for a few months. Why is it that you think the Democrats are, what is their hatred for this country?
Oh boy, I'm not sure that we have a lot of folks in this country labeled one side or the other that have a true hatred for this country. I think they want that their way, right? They're worse than Sinatra. They do want it their way, and their way is leans to the left or is extremely liberal. They lean that way, and they just will not meet anybody in the middle. Now, on the other side, we have some extremely right-leaning individuals. We call them radicals, and they are extreme radicals out here. We know that, and they happen to sign on to the Republican Party or to the what is that? Get a Tea Party? That it doesn't exist, but it is a Tea Party. They're rabid Republicans, right? I don't think that rabid. I don't think that they hate the country. They just want it done their way. They don't like the way it is.
You know what I found interesting?
What's
with
that?
the media before Trump was elected? The last 5 to 8 months, they were talking about these radical Hitler-loving, these racists. How many Hispanics voted for Trump? How many blacks voted for Trump?
That is
how many women?
Funniest
It
thing.
really is amazing. Anyway, you guys, listen. The next time I call in, I'm going to be very healthy and sound, or I'm going to be dead. You guys have a good day.
Well, if you
Take
call
care,
in and you're
Charlie.
dead, let me know what it's like out there, okay?
Well, I'm dead. I'm not going to be able to call in. I got to straighten out my life. I'm going to
Okay.
straighten it out. You
All
guys
right.
take care.
Good luck, whatever you're doing there. Charlie, an interesting individual for sure.
Yes,
Okay. A low pressure system impacts eastern North Carolina through tonight. Guess y'all is going to bring some what they call unsettled weather to this area. Another surge of cold, dry conditions develops tomorrow through late week as something called Arctic high pressure builds back into the area. Anytime somebody throws something out there that says Arctic high pressure or Arctic conditions, there ain't nothing good up in the Arctic this time of year. Offshore today, out to 20 nautical miles, gale warning in effect through Tuesday morning. Southwesterly winds 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 30 knots, increasing to 25 to 30, with frequent gusts up to 40 knots this afternoon offshore along the beaches. Seas 4 to 6 feet. They're going to get bigger. 8 to 11 feet this afternoon near shore. Seas 2 to 4, building to 6 to 9 later today. In other words, we got a system coming through that's not going to be pretty. Sounds and rivers are rough, becoming very rough this afternoon, and there's rain. Tuesday, tomorrow, northerly winds 20 to 25 knots, becoming northwesterly 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Frequent gusts up to 35 knots, seas 5 to 7 feet. 3 to 5 near shore. Sounds and rivers rough, diminishing to choppy in the afternoon. Wednesday, much more reasonable. Northwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 near shore. Seas around 2 feet in the morning, then 1 foot in the afternoon. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. And in the rain puddles that we're going to have, are we going to have any white caps? Probably.
Today, rain mainly between noon and 4 p.m. The high will be 64. Our winds will be From the southwest, mainly 11 to 16 mile an hour with 30 mile an hour gusts, and it is a 90% chance of rain. So please dress accordingly, wear proper shoes, make sure your kids are dressed since school's back in session today because it's going to be a wet day.
Stay off the road.
Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 28. It will still be windy, 11 to 14 miles an hour and 25 mile an hour gusts tonight. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 42. Northwest winds 9 to 13 mile an hour with 20 mile an hour gusts. Tuesday night, clear, low of 20. And on Wednesday, sunny, high of 43 in Rayford. Friday night into Saturday morning, the S word is floating around on here.
Yeah, I can do the S word if you want to, if it shows up.
40% Friday night and
Could be
50
one of
on
them storms.
Saturday. Yeah, as of now. Yeah.
So, storm. No, it's not going to happen.
It just says, I'm just reading what it says
I
here.
know, they lie.
What, aren't you supposed to be flying out that day, boys?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh, you're good.
Oh, you're going to get stuck.
I'll be gone. I'll be gone by the weekend. Yeah.
But you're going to have to come
I
back.
come back on Monday. So
He'll miss it all. He'll be good.
Well, not if the runways are,
We'll have the runways cleared for you by then.
yeah, please do.
or you can just come in. Just tell the pilot to land early, hit the brakes. You'll slide right up to the terminal.
Rather not do that.
Roy's Bennett joining us, Oslo County Commissioner, real estate guy. Is it realtor or realtor?
It's Realtor.
Realtor.
Yeah, there's no A.
I know that. It is so
I'm
fun.
sure Candy has told you that.
Oh, I know. I probably had to tell Candy at one time or another.
Okay.
But I've heard people say, I got me a good realtor out there. You got a good what?
No. A Realtor. Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, a man about town got his got your hands in a whole lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Hospital.
A lot going on.
On Wassa.
Yeah. We've got to talk about Salvation
And
Army
Salvation
first.
Army had to pick up the loot.
So
Yeah.
how,
We've been storing it for you. It's been drawing interest.
I know
Oh,
we
good,
keep
good.
going like, oh, we need to call Royce and we forget.
See, because we raised like $118,000.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm hoping there's 2,000 in there to get us to 120, right?
Leave it here for a little while, and we'll invest it for you and see what
I'll leave
happens.
it a little bit longer.
We got some. We got
Is this
some.
for 2025? We're talking.
Yeah.
Look.
No, that's great.
If
I
it's really
appreciate
light,
y'all.
it's better than if it's really heavy.
True.
I appreciate y'all.
Oh,
We had,
just
we had a short between Thanksgiving and Christmas was 5
I know.
days shorter and a
Oh.
1 weekend shorter. So
Oh,
we lost a Saturday. A Saturday's worth
there's a big days.
$5,000-6,000
Oh,
usually.
goodness.
So at least
So you got how much did you raise in the buckets?
118.
118. Not bad,
That
buddy.
is
That's
good.
118,000.
You got guys out there.
Yep. Pretty good year. And then we got Men Who Cook coming. We're going to be in May this year.
What?
Back to the spring.
What?
When we started, it was a
Oh,
Mother's Day.
I
thing.
can't get
Yes.
lobster then.
Oh, no.
Well, you have 5 months to come up with something.
I need live lobster. I need a bunch of live lobster. That's what I was going to do this
We're
year.
hoping our two-time
Live
winner will
lobster?
come back
So, I'm
for the
going.
trifecta. Yeah, we hope our two-time winner will
I
come
know.
back for the
I can see
trifecta. What
the
do you think?
faces now when we go in there.
I'm
They're
cooking
like,
hot dogs. I'm doing hot dogs this year.
Did you say hot dogs?
Made out of lobster tails.
Okay.
Can you imagine
Oh.
lobster tails on a bun?
we need to encourage people for
People eat that.
competition.
I know. that.
Yeah, we really do. We need some good cooks to compete.
Let's
And
get a
yeah.
nice variety of people doing stuff. I don't care about.
I think we should have some of our elected leaders. I think it's
Absolutely.
Kathy Marks. I think we should have some of our electeds go ahead and
Yeah.
There needs to be a
I know this is
challenge
going to be
issue.
for you.
Yeah,
Royce.
really.
Yes.
There-
Well, they need to
There
get
need to
out
be-
there.
I'm
support.
going to challenge all of them. Okay, let's see. I know a guy named Robin Knapp or something like that.
Knapp.
We need to get Mr. Knapp out there. He could do something like Korean, maybe.
Well, all the commissioners
make
can get
kimchi.
together as
Okay.
a group and do something.
As a
I'm
group.
sure they can make some mean
They would-
macaroni and
Ah,
cheese.
come on, they couldn't go agree on a dish and their lives depend.
That may be true.
Hey, Cassie, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
It's Monday. We're not normal.
I got one sitting here that's abnormal. That's like raising a little child.
What's on your mind?
Well, I got some questions about let's see, let's talk water bill.
Okay. Water bills.
Maybe you could, water bill. Maybe you can help explain this to me. When they send out these water bills, there is what they call a base water charge. And as I was looking at it, they determine it based off of the size of your meter, the water meter. Even if you don't use that amount of money in water, they still have this base charge. And I don't understand what the base charge is for, because it says that it's for fixed fees, and it can be used for repaying loans and bonds. So,
Well, Royce might have an answer or something about that, right?
Well, yeah, we do. I mean, we need to have a, excuse me, we need to have a fixed income. So you got to at least know that you got enough money to cover expenses, some employees, the electric bill, the chemicals cost the same. We got millions of gallons of water sitting in pipes waiting for you to use it. And we got to pay for those too. So we try as a board to keep the base charge as low as we possibly can, because I personally believe that, we need to pay for what we use. And, but there's got to be a minimum charge in order for us to know every month that we're going to have enough money to pay the bills.
I would think just for a connection fee, because I mean those meters that you put on, right? They do go bad from time to time.
Oh yeah,
things happen out there, right? So I would imagine that you had that. Kathy, I'm not taking up for them because I don't like water bills at all or any other bills. I'm gonna be a protester here, but anyway, I'm assuming you would not like to, in case the water meter that's connected to your house, I'm going to take a wild guess. It's going to probably be in the at least 4 digits to replace one of those for the labor and to replace a meter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if yours happen to go bad, I doubt if you'd want to pay $1,000 or more to replace it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So there has to be some sort of base income coming in, I would imagine. I don't know.
Those meters have to be replaced on a regular basis.
Periodically, yes.
One of my notes I brought today is we're getting ready to replace 1,050 meters with
Wow.
well, and we're going to replace these with internet connected smart meters, that we don't have to drive around and read the meters anymore.
Kathy, I can hack those. Okay, we can take care of our bills. Kathy, I can hack them.
That's what we have in the city.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it's just really confusing to people, especially me, when it's just called a base water charge or a baseline or fixed fees. I don't know if I can reword that or break it down to let everybody know that it does. This is what this is what it pays for. Maybe once every 6 months.
Yep.
Send out a letter attached to it.
That's a good idea.
There might be an explanation. This is what your water bill says.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That'd be, it's called transparency that way.
That's a good idea. We'll get that in the works. I think we can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish an electric company would do that.
Okay, you got something else?
Yeah.
Hit me again.
Hit you again?
Yeah, hit me
okay,
again.
Here's one for you. Okay. How are the board of directors selected?
For ONWASA, the board of directors are made up of 2 county commissioners, 2 city council from Jacksonville, and 1 councilman or woman from each of the municipalities in Onslow County.
Interesting.
So the individual boards select who they want.
That's right.
To
Each
represent their
board
board.
selects
Got
their
it.
representative.
Who's the other county commissioner?
Tim Foster.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that is by charter, the way that our board is set up.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
I didn't know that
yeah.
either. Interesting.
Yep. Okay, so that's a written.
It
Okay.
is.
So let's see. Okay, here's one for you. If say somebody wanted to fight or not to go to ONWASA, who would they call if they wanted to have a complaint
Royce.
Is there somebody else? Yeah.
What are the official channels?
Okay.
If you got something you want to say.
Right.
I mean, we do have
Yes,
we have a great customer service department. A couple of wonderful ladies who've been with Onwassa for mostly been there for many years, and they're there to help people with their issues and questions. And all you got to do is I don't have that number in front of me. Just the number on the internet for just a regular number. Ask for customer service, and I'm sure they can help you with whatever issues you may have.
So there's nobody else besides customer service within that building on Wassa that somebody could file a complaint with.
Well, I mean, it can go up the chain, the chain of command. I mean, if it's an issue that customer service can't handle, then it may need to go to engineering. It may need to go to our distribution department.
Yeah,
depending on what the issue is.
I would imagine, Kathy, that if you call about, hey, the water's coming out of my pipe here is kind of rusty, they're going to hook you up with the right person at customer service.
Okay.
Right. We have.
I was just going to say, in that information letter or notification that they put out with the bill, like every 6 months, can that also be put in there with the customer service number and the different departments? Because those are all different departments, different entities within Onwassa.
I would be surprised if it's not there, but I guess it's not there. So anyway, there you go, Royce.
No, we just did a water bill with the water usage, and then you get the base water charge, which is higher than the water usage. But that's a fixed one, because I had to look up to see what size water meter we had. Trying to know why we were getting.
That's because you and Chris, all you do is buy bottled water and drink that and use that in your toilet too, right?
No, I don't do bottled water. I do sweet tea. Thank you.
Okay, me too.
Yeah. Okay, and then my last question is does the board in any way get compensated by Onwassa, like in stocks or bonds or anything like that? Or
the board of Onwassa? Yeah, we do get a stipend, what they call it. I think I get about $180 a month or something, maybe $200 a month. I can't remember what it is exactly, but each board member gets somewhere around $180,
Is that to
$200 a
cover
month.
like your traveling
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff like
just
that?
for the traveling and some of the time that we
It's not
put in.
much.
Yeah, it doesn't cover a lot of the time I put in, but
Right. Okay, so
yeah.
But when so it's asking because when I did looking into it, it said that it covered this repaying of loans and bonds, and I was like, what?
Yeah, well,
So
we take out general obligation bonds to finance a lot of our big purchases, like the Polaris purchase was $50 million that we just did last year. We don't have $50 million in cash laying around, so we took out general obligation bonds to pay for that, and of course those payments have to be made every month, and that's what bonds are for, our big projects.
Okay, so but that's not listed on the bill we get either. So
the bonds.
This is stuff. No, it's just the only thing that comes on that water bill is your water usage, and then it'll say a base water charge.
Okay.
And it doesn't really explain what that is in any way, shape, or form, and what it's used for.
That might be that information letter every 6 months or so.
I think so, along with the customer service number, and that it let them know what that customer service number is can go to, like different engineering and stuff like that, and what that money is used for, that base water charge. Because I questioned, I was like, oh my God, what is this? So I started looking into it, and And I think there's probably a lot of people out there that, they look at it and they're just like, oh, well, but I think there's some out there that really wonder, what is this and where does that money go?
Yeah, there may be some people out there that are curious.
Well,
I think there are.
I agree. I agree with you. I look at my bill every month. I don't get an Onwassa bill. I get a city bill.
I don't look at mine.
But
I
I
just
look
like
at
whatever.
mine and it's everybody has a base fee. It's we every year we balance in the budget. We look at balancing the base fee and the usage fee, and try to keep our base fee as low as we can while not charging exorbitant fees for usage. So it's a balancing act. But we appreciate your questions. We'll try to explain that some.
Yeah, I think if it was broken down and let the citizens know what it's for, and also let them know that it's based off of the size of the meter, because mine's going to be lower than say somebody else's in the city. Then they have a bigger meter, and I didn't know that it was based off the size of our meter.
Yeah,
I had to
standard.
look that up.
Standard.
So all this information would be really good for the citizens to know.
Well, I would think a standard residential meter and an apartment complex meter and a commercial meter might be different.
Oh, much different. Residential is usually 3/4, and if you get a 1 inch or 1.5 inch or 2 inch meter, it's significantly more.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
I did see that.
I would direct you to the Onwassa website. Our budget is on the website, and the fee schedule is on the website. You can go on there and look at what we've approved for the base charge for each different meter size, and also the charge per 1,000 gallons of usage. So I know it's all there. I can't tell you right off the top of my head how to get to the link, but
yeah. Well, my thing with doing it online, you've got a lot of senior citizens out there that don't have computers. They don't know how to use them.
Well, there's that.
So,
let me interject something to that too, though. I think if everything starts to get broken down on a paper bill, that's going to take up a lot more room. It's going to be a lot more pages, which is a lot more to print, and there's a cost to that. So I would assume that the cost of that's going to be tacked on to the individual as well, because let me tell you, printing can become very expensive.
Yep.
So I think you may see an increase in a bill just for printing if you want to print a printed bill with all this broken down charges on a bill. So you're going to run into that.
Once every 6 months or a year, they break it all down, but they always should have a customer service number.
And we have 58,000 customers.
Wow.
So we're mailing around 58,000 bills every month.
Who
So
pays for the water for the fire hydrants that Onwassa services?
Onwassa pays for the water.
oh, okay.
The fire departments are supposed to flush those hydrants on a regular basis.
Yes, they have to do that.
Right.
The
Why?
fire code requires that.
Why?
Make sure the suckers are working
Oh, that I agree
and
with.
they don't
I
have any
thought,
rats stuck up in the line somewhere.
Well, there's two
Maybe-
reasons.
I thought maybe to get rid of the muddy water. Why?
There is another reason for that, because water stagnates
Yes,
when
it
it
does.
sits in the pipes, and the water needs to be flushed out of the pipes on a regular
Stuff
basis, so it
grows.
stays there and
Ah.
and it goes bad.
Yes.
Alligators can get in there.
That reminds me, I need to change my Primo bottle. Yeah, okay.
Little gators.
Oh,
Okay,
Or in
maybe.
our case, is cockroaches.
Oh,
Water,
you know,
you get big, aren't they? Holy cow.
okay, this has gone way beyond now.
No, but seriously, they do have to be flushed, and there is a fire code requirement for that purpose.
Yes. Yes, but I do think that if they could at least put something out once every 6 months that does have a breakdown, it doesn't have to have a actual breakdown. Just let them know what that baseline fee is going towards, and why it's there. And here's your customer service number if you have any further questions. But it's like I said, it just caught me, and I'm 65. I'm like,
Oh, we can do even better than that. We'll just invite Royce in here every 6 months, and not a problem. He'll explain it.
Okay.
Yes, it was the first time. That's the first time I really looked at it, and I really don't. I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I figured, well, just ask somebody.
Yep.
What does it actually go for? So, if they were to know, and that here's a service number, a customer service number. If you have any further questions, regarding your bill, this would be the number you call, because there is nothing on there that says who to call. There's nothing. It's so, but it's good. So if you could something like that every 6 months, that would be
that'll be a cheap fix.
I made some notes. I'll see if we can make that happen. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Kathy, asking you shall receive.
Well,
I hope so. For the citizens, I hope so.
Okay.
But I just want to call in and get everybody fired up.
Kathy, I just brought up their website and it shows their phone number right on it.
But that doesn't say customer service. It's the main number.
Well, to get the main number, you get somebody, you should be
You
able to
don't-
get the customer
You
service.
really don't need to have to go through jumping through those
I'm
hoops.
gonna call them right now.
Yeah, but then again, I'm talking about your senior citizens that do not use computers. They don't have them. They don't know how to use them.
It would be nice to have it right on the
they
bill.
have, yes, I do agree with it. Because they get curious too, just like those young folks. So it's if it was explained to them what that is, that it's based off of, and give them just a little idea. I think it would help make them understand a little bit more about why they're getting this baseline fixed charge attached to the higher than their actual water bill sometimes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Kathy,
Every 6 months, yeah.
we do appreciate your call, and there's great points that you're making too.
Well, thank you, David. Like I said, just inquiring minds would like to know, and I know I'm not the only one out there.
No, you're not the only
But,
one. Hey,
but anything to help the citizens.
tell that old guy out there that hangs around with you. I've been having a really good fire going this week, and I'm going to have another one going all week long. It looks like beginning tonight or tomorrow night. Oh, good Lord of mercy.
I'll see what I can do for you, David. I promise. I'll do
Thank
what I
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Kathy.
you.
Y'all have a great Monday.
You too. Bye.
Sure.
And she brings up some good points.
And let me
You explained a whole lot here, like flushing the lines and everything. You had no clue.
Well,
You see them around town on a regular basis. And out
the points he
everywhere.
brought up make sense, and
Yep.
I didn't think about it on that side of the spectrum.
I do want to
yeah.
get a cartoon guy to draw me a cartoon of when they're flushing it. I want a little alligator shooting out.
I mean, I see
That'd
them
be fun.
flush the hydrants every so often, but I just, and I'm sure to make sure they're working or whatever, but I
Of
never
course.
thought about the biological aspect.
Well, things can clog up,
Yes.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
sophisticated now. I think they measure the volume of water that they can get out of them for the fire,
Correct.
in case they need
It
them.
has to be a certain
But-
pressure and
yeah,
a certain
that's-
quantity.
Well, you know what? We have the chief of the fire department coming in Friday with
There
us,
you go.
or Thursday with us. So,
He'll probably tell you something.
Steve. So, that'll be interesting. We'll be sure to ask him that too.
Steve, you ever turned on your faucet and had a gator or a roach come out?
God
Oh.
knows. Jeez. No. God, you're making me itch.
Well, good. They're doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're keeping them clean.
I'm on a well, so I don't really know that would have any bearing on the conversation.
You get vampires coming out of yours.
Vampires.
Yeah. Hey, I heard y'all talking this morning. Y'all may have already made this point, but it kind of crossed my mind. I think it might help clarify a little bit. Is that base rate? There is a cost that's incurred with having fresh water available at your tap, even if you don't use it.
Yep. The cost of the meter,
Yeah,
the cost
it-
of the piping, the cost of the repairs, the cost of inspections. I mean, these guys don't just sit on their dust back here, and they've got,
The cost of making sure you have healthy water.
that's right, and the testing.
Well,
That's right.
I was a superintendent and installed
Clear out
control
the roaches.
systems at it.
There you go.
And that's a big plant, and it takes a lot of power to run that plant.
Mhm.
And that plant runs every day, regardless if anybody uses any water or not.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
that's kind of, I believe, where that base price comes in, is that, you know, there, to be tied into the system, there is a daily cost to have that water available
And
to
from
you.
time to time, you have a contractor that's digging a big old ditch somewhere, and suddenly he's got a lot of water coming out, shooting out there, right?
Well, there's that as well, and then the you know, like you say, the fire department going around blowing all the lines off and
Yep.
stuff like that. That's a tremendous amount of water
Yes, it is.
that gets used, you know. But just in having clean water at your tap ready to go, somebody had to, you know, get that water to your tap. Whether you turn the tap on or not is irrelevant.
I will tell you something that if you leave your house, if you decide that I'm going to turn the power off on my house, there's still going to be an accumulation of power charges
Yep.
because that is still
Same
attached.
thing with cell phones.
Because that's still attached
right.
to the power system,
That's
to the
right.
power grid.
I had an issue. Yeah, I'm over here in Carteret County, so I got Western Carteret is the water company over here, and they bought water lines through my neighborhood, and I paid to have a tap put out there, and I had to pay the minimum at the base rate. You know, even though I wasn't attached to the water line, I never hooked up to it. I had to pay the base rate, and so that's why I found out about it, because it upset me tremendously too. I wasn't even attached to it, and still had, because I had a meter, I had to pay the base rate. You know?
Was the meter required when you hooked up, or when they brought it through your neighborhood?
It was not, but if you did, when I had it installed, you only had to pay a few $100s. If you waited after they came through, it was like $1,700 for them to come back and put the tap.
There's an incentive to go ahead and get it put on there whether you use it or not.
Right, and I only had to pay the base pay for 2 years, and then if I want attached, I didn't have to pay after that.
Okay, gotcha.
So. Yeah, so I kind of slipped out of it a little bit, but I think that's, you know, the main reason why everybody has a base rate. Is
well, you also know that when your well runs dry, you decide that, you know, to replace that pump and I'll keep all that stuff going, and my pump freezing up, and I got all the, you may decide one day I'm going to hook up to the county system and forget about it, right?
If Carteret County water bills were in line with Onslow County water bills, I would be feeling a little different about that. My water's really good. Yeah, my water's really good here, especially when the water system came through and took everybody stopped pumping water out the aquifer. My water got better. So I was lucky. I don't know if that was, you know, directly caused it to get better, but it did get better once they put the water line.
You know, we both just jinxed your personal well right now. You know that, right? Tomorrow's going to.
You might.
It probably just blew up.
You know, I'm a Boy Scout, so I'm prepared for that.
Okay, I'll get you one of the pitcher pumps so you can hook up to your well, your pipe.
That's the only thing I don't have, and I've been looking into one of those.
I have two. I've got a pipe sticking right out here, coming out of the ground. I got two of them. I might get me a pitcher.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. From years ago.
I got you. Well, anyway, I just wanted to share that this morning about that base rate. You know what? You know, could possibly be the reason behind it and the justification for it. And I know it don't seem right. If you don't use it, you shouldn't have to pay for it. But to have it available, the availability is what you pay for.
Okay.
All right, Steve, we call you the singing waterman now, right?
All right.
Yeah. I didn't know you were a plant operator. Hey, that's cool.
Hey,
how about that?
Get him back in there.
Yes.
Put him to work.
Yeah. Well, I actually was I was one of the contractors when they did the renovations there for the Armpazzo plant and expanded.
Which one? You talking about? You talking like Hubert?
They did both of them at the same time. At that time, they did Hubert and Dixon at the same time.
Okay.
It was when they put in we put in the generators and all that stuff, the big generators out there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
You didn't have any leftover generators, did you?
I'm sorry?
You don't have any leftover generators, do you? Somewhere stockpiled at your house?
No, especially not like those. Those were probably the biggest ones I installed.
Oh, okay.
They were pretty good size.
Yeah, like that. You can be assured when the power goes out, your water doesn't stop.
That's right.
We have plenty of generators and plenty of fuel to fuel them. We can run them for days and days.
That's a good thing. We might need it.
10,000 gallons of diesel fuel each one holds.
How about the county? I mean, the city.
We had to fill them up. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Steve, thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you, Steve.
Y'all have a blessed day.
You too. Okay. Well, we got the water situation all resolved.
Yeah. We've contracted the force main from Swansboro to Piney Green, so that's a $30 million expense that that we're putting in, so that it's going to open up all of 24, theoretically for some development, and also give us more capacity in Swansboro with the business park coming in Swansboro and other stuff happening out there. It growing like crazy.
Well, they got to have water.
They
Yes.
got to have water and sewer.
Now, I was going to ask you about sewer. How involved is Onwassa in the sewer business all the way through? Is it ever throughout the entire county now?
Oh no.
I didn't think so.
No, we have, like I said, we have 58,000 water customers. I think we have about 8,900
Okay.
sewer customers. Yeah, the only sewer systems we operate are in, basically Richland, Swansboro, Sneed's Ferry, Holly Ridge, North Topsail Beach. These are
Community
These
sewer
are all
systems.
sewer systems that Onwassa took over from
Sure.
the municipalities.
Mm.
The only plant Onwassa has built is the Northwest plant, which is serving
Right.
Richlands now.
Okay.
And then we bought the Plurus plants in Sneed's Ferry and Hubert.
Right.
So other than that, all of the sewer systems were local, operated by the towns, and that's an issue that we deal with at Onwassa too, because we took over water and sewer lines that are 50, 80, 100 years old. Richlands, I think, had the oldest sewer system. They have some pipes in there that are like terracotta.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Porous.
Yeah. It's a challenge for Onwassa to try to have the resources to upfit. You got to dig those things out and replace them. And that's a slow process. That's in our capital improvement plan. We do a little bit every year. Try to get some of that done all the time.
Now, Jacksonville is the only municipality in Oslo County that has its own system, water and sewer.
Yes.
Okay, so they're separate from Onwassa.
Right.
Are there any crossovers or contingency plans for emergencies?
Oh, there are. We
Okay.
cooperate with Jacksonville on a regular basis. We have some areas like thinking out of Piney Green, in the country club. Some areas where the city provides the water and we bill it, and we pay the city for the water. And some places where they take care of the sewer and it's not in the city and we bill it, just all kinds of cross connections and cooperation in different areas of
Must
the
be a
county.
nightmare.
Hey, yeah.
Oh,
I guess you couldn't do it without computers
No.
nowadays, Ray.
No.
You got to have the computers to figure out what goes where and how. I mean, when you're
So
dealing with
Beijing is in charge, is what you're telling me.
well,
So-
get there.
So is there a requirement now within the county dealing with water companies like Onwassa that any new development that is built is required to go into a sewage system?
No. They're required to use Onwassa water if it's available, but they're not required to use sewer.
Gotcha.
They can build their own plant. They can put in septic tanks.
Good luck.
They can, they can provide the sewer any way that they see fit.
Interesting.
Developments
So
with a
it's-
quarter acre lot is going to be a big issue for septic
You
systems.
can't hardly do it on a quarter acre
No, you
lot. You
can't.
got to have a half acre.
And it better be good.
Yeah, and it's got to be
No
good.
wetlands.
Yeah, that's a challenge for Onslow, growing like we are with the population getting bigger and the housing needs. We need to have sewer pipes in more locations so that it can be available for more development. But I think it's somewhere around $1 million a mile to put in a sewer pipe. So, I mean,
Talk about
that's a
taxes
lot of
going
money. Yeah. And somebody got to pay for it. And, our customers have to pay for it. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Well,
We're a rate.
if you've never lived with a septic tank system, of which probably all of us have at some time or another, Wow. That can be a real issue too.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
ground, wherever you live, it could be an issue. But even if you got a big chunk of land, those things do fill up. You got to get the honeypot truck to come on out from time to time.
If you ever look at the wetlands map of Onslow
God,
County,
yeah,
you'll wonder how we can have any houses anywhere.
yeah. With every storm that comes by,
Oh, here comes your favorite caller,
yeah. Here comes our buddy.
Theo.
Happy
Theo, all right.
New Year again, Theo. How are you?
Hey, deplorables, how we doing?
We're doing fine, Mr. Adorable. How are you?
All right, I got a question for the commissioner.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sounds
sir.
like he's in a lot of projects. He's commissioner, real estate, and on the board of 2 different places. The other fundraising, what is it on Christmas?
Yeah, Salvation Army. Yes, sir.
No. Salvation Army.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you get everything done, but I do have a problem. And the problem is this. If you went to a restaurant and you saw roaches, what would you do?
Call the health department.
I probably wouldn't go back.
That too.
And if you went for a second time, you said, well, a couple of years, let me give them another a chance, and you find that they got roaches again, what would you do then?
Well, I'm pretty
You'll
sure
never
we
go
go
back,
back. That's right. I'm pretty sure we can go back then.
Well, let me. If you go into your kitchen and you turn the lights on, or a guest goes into your kitchen and turns the lights on bright and early one morning, and there's one of those little bugs that crawls around. We do live in a neck of the woods here, where they're not roaches. Most of the ones that we see, they're these little stupid things called water bugs. They look like overgrown. They look like roaches on steroids to me. But
Did you know that's North Carolina state bug?
I know it is. It could be the state bird in a little while, the way they fly around. But I'm sure that every one of us in here has turned a light on and found a roach going across the floor, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody who hasn't, stand up.
Here's my question. If you go to a hospital and you have staph infections, what would you do?
Well, okay, so I'm on the hospital board too. So
That was going to be a funny one. Your timing is excellent, Theo.
I can tell you that the board of directors of the hospital looks at the statistics of staph infections every month or two. We have 2 or 3 a year.
That's pretty good.
That's a terrible thing to have, and we do everything we can to keep it out of our hospitals. So yeah.
Okay, so the hospital's been there since 2002, yes?
Yeah, you got me on that one. I'm not sure.
2000 hospital?
I thought it's been there before then.
This hospital was built in the 1970s.
Yeah, it was
We just did our 50-year anniversary or something.
I was there when they opened the
70.
hospital in 70 something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I remember our security.
We got here in 2004, and the first thing they told us is not to go to Onslow County Hospital because of the staph infections. Now, here's the other problem. Every time a friend of mine or a family member goes to this hospital, it has to be shipped out to another hospital. They have to either go to Wilmington or New Bern. Now, we're tired of going and visiting our relatives in different areas. If the hospital is there to cover us, then it's got to cover us to the fullest. Okay? And the staph infection has been there for a long time. Okay? Now, I don't know if you don't have enough doctors to cover everybody, but every time we send somebody to this hospital, they have to be moved to another hospital. Okay? So my suggestion is you move this hospital to somewhere else. It has a bad reputation. Okay? You don't have to take my word for it. You go ask around.
What do you mean
You
move
have
it to
a
somewhere?
bad reputation with this Onslow Hospital.
What do you mean move it
You've got
somewhere
plenty of
else?
land at 258. Okay? You can put a state-of-the-art hospital. You can put that rehab building next to it that you people are looking for. But the hospital has to be moved. Okay? It's got a bad reputation, and we're tired of taking our people from there to other places, and we have to visit them in other places. Bottom line.
Okay. We'll
Now, I don't care
talk.
about how. Now, you can tell me how much it costs. You just said you spent $30 million doing other things for the water. Then you're going to have to find some money and move this hospital and give it a different name too. maybe Richlands Memorial might do it. But Onslow has a bad reputation, and you know it. You know it.
I don't look. I am not a finance person, but I would think to build a new hospital would probably be
Expensive.
100 million, 500
Oh,
million,
no,
a billion,
no.
like
half $1 billion
Yeah.
at least. Yeah.
That's just
I
a
don't
given.
think
Yeah.
we have that kind of
you
money
ask
here.
The citizens, you act because you don't want to make the expense because it's always about money with the Republicans. You want people
Unfortunately,
to
it
take
takes
the
money.
people in there and then be transferred. Some people don't even want to go there, Kelly. They say, no, don't take me there. Don't take me. I'll go anywhere else. I'll go to Burgo. I'll go to Wilmington. I'll go to New Bern.
True.
Okay?
Yep.
That's happening all the time. Now, you can't have a hospital and spend money on everything else and have this kind of a hospital there, especially when you're asking for people. You've got developments all over the place. So you're asking all these people, instead of grabbing the money and making a new hospital, you're asking them to be transferred to different hospitals. No, it doesn't go that way. Okay? It does
No, let
not
me-
go that way.
So if you let me get in here for a minute.
Go right ahead.
Theo, the issue with having to transfer people is because we don't have the doctors, but we don't have the doctors because we can't get them to move here. We can't force a neurosurgeon to move to Onslow County and practice at our hospital. You have to find people that want to do that. Our relationship with UNC Health has helped that. We have been able to get a lot of specialists. Our radiation oncology department, we just brought in another radiation oncologist. So we've doubled our radiation oncology department. We're always working to get new surgeons and new specialties into Onslow County.
How are you doing that?
Well, we through UNC Health, basically, they have a big network, and they know these doctors when they get out of college, when they get through with their residency at UNC Health. We're trying to recruit them to Onslow County.
How long has that taken? We're talking about been here since 2004. It's 2025 now. Okay?
But you can't, Steve, you got to understand, you can't make a doctor come work here.
We've had the
No,
relation.
but listen, Kelly, back in 2002, when they wanted to recruit doctors, they went to New York and they offered them money to come over here, and some doctors did come. They gave them a 3-year program that you will pay you what you want. Not exactly. I told you this story before. Back in 2004, 2002, when they were recruiting doctors, they went to New York and put an ad in there. We're recruiting doctors for North Carolina. This is what you're going to get. And some doctors took the bait, and they came. Now, some of them are still here, and some of them are not here. They weren't happy with what they were making. Okay? So we're talking about a lot of years. We're tired of taking our people to Onslow. And first, if nothing happens to my family here, my wife is going to say, take me to Burgo. I have to go all the way to Burgo instead of coming to Onslow because nobody wants to go to Onslow. Okay, there's something wrong with that hospital. It's like, you either knock it down and put a new one up there. And listen, the other thing I heard is that you don't pay your nurses enough. They're coming and going. They don't like the pay that you're giving them.
That's at every
Okay.
hospital that I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Everybody
Okay,
says
very
that.
good. Okay, so we're not talking about every hospital because they're making money. Like he says, we don't have the doctors, so all that money that we could be making here and service our people are going to other hospitals. All right, Happy New Year.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Well,
let me-
thanks for your opinion. I do want to say though, the hospital authority is not Onslow County. The hospital authority is a private quasi-governmental authority, and Onslow County does not control the hospital. The hospital board controls the hospital. And, he's right. It's difficult to get people here. We've been trying for years. We've only had the relationship with UNC Health for about 4 or 5 years, maybe 6. I can't remember exactly.
Not very long.
But it's not been very long. And I think we're making great progress. It's just a slow process. It really is. And he's right about the reputation. I mean, it's hard to, when you got people like Theo out there that are remembering how it was 20, 30, 40 years ago, when it was really bad. then trying to get people to change their attitude about the hospital is definitely very difficult. And we've got some advertising campaigns out. We're advertising. We're trying to work on the reputation of the hospital very hard, but it takes a lot of time to change.
As far as the nurses are concerned, I came from Wilmington before. I've been around here all my life, but from Wilmington, I worked there in television for quite a while. New Hanover Memorial is a fairly large facility, and it's been growing forever. It's a huge facility now by comparison. And for a county, the smallest county in North Carolina, it's a really huge facility when you do it that way, even for the population that's there. They've been complaining about nursing forever. Nurses.
I have a friend that works there.
Nurses will go to a hospital they like because that's where they live. But then they have a group called travelers. The traveling nurses, they do it because they enjoy moving around. They could get a job anywhere for 6 months or a year or whatever. They can just move 30 days if you want to in many cases. They just go from place to place to place because they might want to go to a snow area during the wintertime and to the beach during the summertime. That's the way it works.
We also have this thing called the Naval Medical Center, where people can go and get a federal job right across the road there and get paid way more than what we can afford to pay.
We cannot compete with the federal government. That's a shame.
It's Robin.
Well, I will say the original hospital was constructed and dedicated in 1944. And there's your 80 years. And the new one, the renovation, the new move to Western Boulevard was 1974.
Yes, that's what I remember. Okay, Robin, what's up?
Hey, I just want to say something real quick. I get tired of hearing people talk about Onslow County and the bad reputation, and they got to medevac people here and there, whatever. I've been here since 1990. Number one, I credit OMH for saving my son's life when he was 5 years old with acute asthma distress. I credit them for treating my father very, very well despite some of the circumstances. And their protocol that they use, for example, I'll give you two quick examples. Me, I had what I thought was stroke-like symptoms. It wasn't a stroke, but they took care of me as a precaution. They kept me overnight, gave me the right meds, did a whole bunch of tests, and took care of me. Whereas one of my coworkers had a lot worse symptoms than I did. Side went numb, and he went to another facility, not wanting to go on OMH. They examined him and didn't even do a stroke protocol on him. So, as far as I'm concerned, OMH has had a bad rap because some of it might be true because of their understaffed, whatever, but every hospital goes through that. But by and large, OMH provides great service to its people here. And I don't want the hospital to move. I want the hospital to stay put because it's real close, it's in the city, and people get to it. And if you need to be evacuated for further evaluation or to see a specialist, they can fly you out. But I'll tell you this, I had a specialist when I was in the hospital for 24 hours. He did a teleconference with me from UNC Chapel Hill. And he was very, very thorough. And so when I hear this, of course, you throw away, let's blame the Republicans, whatever. That's not even into the picture, but I want to say that OMH makes a great job of everything we can to preserve it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Appreciate it.
Hey, look, I gotta go in just a few minutes. I just want to say one thing about the commissioners while I got you here. Almost a year ago, a business owner in Onslow County called me. He has an RV park, and he said, "Look, your RV park rules are causing us to lose business to Carteret and Pender County." And the problem was that our rules required they couldn't build a deck bigger than 10 by 10, 100 square feet, and it had to be 10 by 10, a deck on their RV. So we got out there and we looked at it, and first of all, we got the rule changed so that they can build a deck that's any way they want it as long as it's not more than 100 square feet. because the
That
law,
could be
the
5 by
ordinance,
20.
that's right. The ordinance says it can't be more than 100 square feet. So to change the ordinance is a little more challenging than to change the rule. So we changed the rule, but today we'll have a public hearing where we're proposing to change the ordinance so that they can have a deck up to 200 square feet,
Oh, okay.
which is going to be competitive with our neighbors' RV parks.
Great.
So, I just wanted to bring that up. I'm sure some people will come to talk about it today, but I think that's
11 a.m.
it was an opportunity for us to do something. It is an opportunity for us to do something that's going to be beneficial for our businesses, because somebody came to us and I would say brought to our attention the issue. Because I didn't know about it. If I don't know about it, I can't.
Whoever came up with
fix
that
it.
original was not anybody who had ever been in an RV or in an RV park.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take
gets to be
off
the problem.
out of here.
Okay, I know
and
you
get
gotta
to
go.
a
He's got to
commissioner
tell us.
meeting.
Have you got time to tell us about Japan real quick?
Oh yeah,
Japan.
Okay, so on Wednesday I'll be flying to Japan to visit to tour a Kubota manufacturing
tractor?
facility in Osaka.
I need a tractor. Bring it back.
We buy parts for our sewer plants from Kubota.
Really?
Yes. So the Kubota has invited 4 of us from Onwasa to go to Osaka and tour their plant.
So you speak
And,
Japanese?
Yeah, well, so we're going to be taking off on Wednesday. Frankie and Paul Connor, who's also who's
Richlands.
on Richlands, and Eric, our CFO, are going to be flying to Japan.
Good.
To tour the factory and see where they
Nice.
make the parts that we use in our sewer plants and see how maybe we can find ways to be more efficient. How about that?
Great.
Excellent.
All right. So looking forward to that.
Trip.
Be careful.
Yep. When we leave on Wednesday, we'll be back on
Don't-
Tuesday, I think. So,
Remember, some of the customs here are not allowed there.
oh, I know it. I've been looking at that a little bit.
Be very careful with that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Okay.
All right.
It'll be chilly there too if you're going to Osaka this time of year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what they
Just
said.
a-
It's gonna be cold here. Chilly there is
it's
okay.
cold there.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a good
Royce. And
day.
we'll talk about the men who cook here shortly. That's only 5 months away. Come on now. I need more notice.
I know it's not
I got to buy stuff.
It doesn't take that long.
I got to come up with something. Oh, Lord of mercy.
See you later.
That's a scary thought there. Okie dokie. I guess we better do a little bit of weather again here too. Then I want to talk about the staph infection stuff. And Theo brought something up, and I got familiar with staph infections at one time some years ago. A low pressure system. Oh yeah, Eastern North Carolina, get ready for it. Through tonight, unsettled weather to the area. A big old surge of cold, dry conditions will develop tomorrow, and will be here through late week as Arctic high pressure builds back into this area. Offshore today, out to 20 nautical miles, gale warning in effect through Tuesday morning. Southwesterly winds, breezy, 20 to 25 knots, gust to 30. That's windy. And it's worse than that, 25 to 30 with frequent gusts to 40 knots in the afternoon today, offshore. Okay. Seas 4 to 6 feet, going to get bigger, 8 to 11 this afternoon. Near shore seas 2 to 4, building to 6 to 9 later today. Sounds and rivers rough, becoming very rough in the afternoon. Northwest or northerly winds tomorrow 20 to 25, northwesterly 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Gust up to 35 knots. Seas 5 to 7 feet. Sounds and rivers rough, diminishing to choppy in the afternoon. Wednesday, northwesterly winds 10 to 15. Seas 2 to 3. Near shore seas around 2 feet. In the morning, then they're going to calm down to 1 foot in the afternoon. Amazing. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
Today, rain mainly after 1 p.m., a high of 65, 7 to 16 mile an hour winds, and 29 mile an hour gusts. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 28, still gusty and cold. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 42, 10 to 13 mile an hour winds, 21 mile an hour gusts. On tomorrow night, clear, cold, low of 20.
Oh,
And on Wednesday, sunny, high of 44. But luckily, the winds go down to like
Let
5
me make
miles
sure
an hour.
this says Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Not Arkansas or Illinois or anything
Jacksonville,
like
North
that.
Carolina. Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay. Got a caller. Who we got?
Jennifer.
Jennifer up in the hills of Tennessee, my cousin.
Good morning.
How are
Good
ya?
morning. How are y'all?
We're fine.
I'm good. I wanted to call and kind of sort of address what Theo was talking about at the hospital.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I lived over in North Carolina for 37 years. And in 37 years, I had some dealings with Onslow.
Yep.
Now, I had two of what you would call not the greatest of experiences. Both of those were well over 30 years ago, long time ago. And then I had lots of good experiences. Now, I can keep on dwelling on those two bad experiences that were years and years and years ago. Or I can say, well, you know, my family was treated very, very good. It's like when Terry had his stroke, they were just as absolutely wonderful while we were there as they could be. I couldn't have asked for anyone, any facility to be any better. And the doctor told me when they had him back for his MRI, she said, Miss Blizzard, I'll tell you straight up front, if his MRI shows what I'm pretty sure it's going to, he can't stay here. We will transfer him out to Vidant. And here's the key thing. We are not equipped to handle a stroke of this magnitude in this facility.
Yeah, his was massive.
Yeah. Go ahead and send him out, please.
Mm-hmm.
Don't keep him here and try and do what you can. You weren't equipped for it. You're not equipped for it. It's not your fault. You don't have the neurosurgeons, the specialists and all that at Onslow that they had up there in Greenville at Vidant. It was not that doctor's fault. And as far as building a new facility, you can build a new hospital, but if they don't have, it's not the building isn't going to change. The building's not going to make it any better or any worse if they don't have the specialists, and the specialists aren't going to the area. It's not, until they get that. And you're looking at Onslow. Onslow's not even the trauma. I had, when Terry's mama fell and they sent her out onto the base, and it took us an hour to be able to get through and get to her.
Sure.
Onslow's not even the trauma center anymore.
I know. That's a shame.
So and that is the one major grievance that I have, is that the trauma is so readily accessible. If you are military, you don't have any problem, buddy. You roll up and you're gone. But if you're a civilian, and then you look at it, if you're somebody that's there visiting, if you're somebody that's there at the beach on vacation and something happens, you don't have any experience whatsoever with the military, you don't even realize anything about it, well, then you're completely thrown for a loop. You're just, that to me definitely needs to.
Yeah, I really wish. Yeah,
in some kind of way.
I really wish we did have an emergency facility capable of handling the types of emergencies that we have around here. There are wrecks that are very traumatic wrecks. There are gunshots of those. There are near drownings where we have bad things that happen here that they can't really deal with at Onslow, and that's a shame. Unfortunately, now one of the things that has hampered Onslow and most other hospitals with emergency departments are that those emergency departments are often used by individuals because they don't have a doctor to treat their splinter or to take a toenail, an ingrown toenail out,
You're
or to
exactly
do
right.
minor things that they don't know where else to go, so they go to the emergency department. An emergency department. Okay,
Yep.
now I off from that one because I've watched it happen. I've been inside the one here,
Yeah.
the one in New Hanover. I've seen that kind of stuff happen. Okay, that's the
But
reason
what
those
I
places
love
are
is
so much.
when
So the waits are so
all
long in
of these
there.
people give such a bad reputation. You know, they talk all the bad stuff,
Mhm.
and you know, you see it, and you. I know you're not on social media as much, but I'm sure Kelly and Lee have seen on. You know, somebody will put a rant on there.
Mhm.
Oh, I was at the emergency room for 5 hours, and I ended up getting up and leaving or whatever.
Yeah, and I had
How
Uncle Joe to cut my
bad-
splinter out. Yeah.
How bad of an emergency was it
Thank
if
you.
you ended up leaving?
Well, he
Thank
got
you.
he got
You know,
hungry.
I
He had to
mean-
go for dinner.
Thank you.
I was over there waiting on them to get Terry's mama all fixed and stuff where I could go back. They had sent her over. It wasn't long before. It was, I think, her last hospital visit, and she was sick, and they had taken her, you know, by ambulance, and I had to wait. And we were out there, and so help me, hand to God, I put my hand on a Bible. There was a woman out there. She had the wristband on her phone, talking to somebody about, yeah, and I need you to go by McDonald's, and you bring me this, and you bring me this, and get me this. They're walking outside to smoke and coming back in.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know, the whole time with the wristband on, and I'm thinking, please show me your emergency. Is there anything I can do to help you? I
Mhm.
mean, what is wrong with you
Yeah.
that you are here taking up time
Right.
from the actual emergencies? So that's just my take on it. And yeah, like you were talking, the traveling nurses, they're going to pay bank to those traveling nurses. Oh, they're making big time money, but they're not having to pay on vacation. They're not having to pay on any
That's right.
any of that. Is all on and that all goes back to the bottom dollar. That all goes back to them. What is more cost effective for the hospital?
Yeah, and they do it
And
because a
that's
lot
all
of them,
hospitals. That's
just
not just
love to
hospitals.
be the nomads. They love the nomadic lifestyle. They love going from place to place. They know they can get a job, and they know that the jobs are going to be very similar from one location to another. If they're a nurse, and you know, but I know they have their pick of hospitals, and they will go and pick it. But quite often they pick it because of a location. Okay, that's
When
just the
my
way it is.
sister, or the girl I call my sister, anyway, when she was in the hospital up here, she had lung cancer. And she was in the hospital she had some complications, had to go back. She was in the hospital for quite a while. And this was about 4 years ago. And Terry and I had come up here, and I was at the hospital with her. And when you're in the hospital that long, you kind of start learning the different nurses that's going to be on. And there was a man and a woman. They were married. They were both RNs. And she didn't have like a home base. He had worked at a hospital in Kentucky, and they kept him. He would go back and work X amount of hours in Kentucky to keep his insurance there. But they were, I don't know, they weren't long out of college.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of money they were making, he said, we are on, it was like within a 5 year, they were like on a 5 year plan. Their college would all be paid for, and they would have enough money in savings to purchase a home outright.
There you go.
And I mean, that's the kind of money they're making.
That's
And
that's what they're doing.
you know,
They're they don't have a lifestyle.
When you have people that, and he said, in that amount of time, we'll be able to quit the traveling nurse, settle back over in Kentucky with our families.
Okay.
And people can't compete with that. You know, they're going to do that. And if that's the lifestyle that you want.
Some people like a different lifestyle.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, y'all have a good
Jennifer,
day.
thank you. All right, you too.
Uh-huh.
Bye. Staph infections.
Yes.
They will settle down at a hospital or a unit, and they have problems getting rid of it. In the hospital that I mentioned down in Wilmington years ago, I had inside information on that one. And I walked in there one day. It was loaded with staph. They had more staph infection there. People came in well, or not well. They came in for a reason, and suddenly they developed staph infections because they were in a hospital. That staph infection was running rampant. When I walked up on the floor, I had not been visiting anybody, but I had to go up to a floor one day.
Right.
Did you know that the floors in the hallways were carpeted?
Back then?
Carpeted.
Wow.
They put carpet on the floors. You can't clean carpet.
No.
You can clean carpet every day with Lysol.
Yes.
You can't clean carpet.
Carpet is gross.
You can't clean it.
Right. That's crazy.
And they had carpet on the floors up there. They had a
That's just creepy to begin with. Yeah.
director that came in, and he said, "Hey, let's make these hallways quieter. We'll put carpet in here." I don't think he'd ever been in a hospital before. And suddenly, the place was loaded with staph. You get one person in one room that's got staph, and he gets up and has to walk around the hallways before he can leave the hospital, right?
Right.
They made him walk around the hospital floors, the whole floor. What do you think they carry with them?
Germs.
What do you think they pick up if they've got a wound on them?
Right. Well,
They took them up.
things have changed so much over the years, and they learn more and more, and they instill new rules and nice shiny floors. And
Spick and span those floors,
Yes.
y'all. Bleach them.
it used to be that when you went in the elevators, you never touched anything. You hit the button
With your
with your
elbow.
elbow, just because you're in a hospital and there's sickness there. But I can honestly say, I grew up here, been to Onslow several times, had family members there. I have never had anything but excellent treatment. So, and I know that things have changed over the years. We have to go to Naval for trauma, and if anything serious like what happened to you and you got vagged out to Newbern, I mean, it's a shame that we don't have a bigger, better hospital here for our
There
needs.
are some basics. One of the biggest things that people have, that one of the biggest killers, one of the biggest issues in this country is a cardiology issue, right?
And at one time, they were supposed to build a unit back behind the hospital.
They didn't have a cardiologist in the hospital the day I went with a blood pressure of nothing.
Right.
With what they told me, an ER doctor who, nothing against them because they're great people, but he's not a cardiologist. When I tore up my knee back in the 70s, they did not have, who works on broken
orthopedics?
They didn't have one there. Didn't have one available. I had to call one.
Right. You know one now. I know a great one. So
I'm not going to jump out. I'm not going to get up in any more trees. But there are things that they didn't have then that they may or may not have now. But cardiology is that, and stopping the bleeding.
Yes. Yes.
And making people breathe are three kind of primary areas for a hospital.
They're like a triage. You go in there.
Need that.
Right.
And for an emergency department, I walked into New Hanover having a heart attack.
Right.
I didn't get transported because I was told by my doctor he said he'd chew me out later on. It meant for you to call for someone to come take you. No,
right.
He said, get to the hospital. And I did. I drove myself. And that was stupid.
Oh, I know.
But I wasn't
lots of people that have done that.
And I walked in with a heart attack. Certainly surprised everybody in that room. And they jumped to the action. But there are things that hospitals need to do.
Right.
And we need facilities here. We have a growing population. We keep hearing about it. We're getting bigger industry.
Well, I'm grateful that we have the naval.
We're so lucky we have the naval, but it's still 10 miles 10 miles from the Oslo Memorial.
Not if you
to there.
drive fast.
It's still 10 miles.
Right, I
And
understand.
those MPs don't like you driving fast. Who we got here?
Phil.
Hey, Phil, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? I'm trying to stay warm.
Get ready. It's going to get colder.
Well, it's 7 degrees with the wind blowing here in Ohio.
Oh, ouch.
It's what?
And
7. Bless your,
7.
bless your heart.
just got done shoveling.
No.
So,
Well,
talk about hospital. I did 911 and convalescent transports for 22 years while I was in Oslo County.
uh-huh.
I have seen lots of hospitals in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. You know, yes, Oslo needs to do stuff like where they can handle trauma patients.
Yep.
But the thing is, they have to bring the specialist in to Oslo County to handle that.
That's right.
Like one time, they did procedures for heart catheterization. And, you know, they had providers that was able to do it. Right when I left, they did not have no more providers. So they had to stop that. You know, that's to bring in the specialty doctors that can handle that. Oslo County Memorial Hospital is a stroke center. They can handle a clot, but they cannot handle a bleed.
Okay.
In the brain. Yes, there's times that patients have to be sent out, you know, by medevac or ground transport. You know, people need to realize that, like you said earlier, with splinters or hang toenails or whatnot, that ties up the ER. And that's what makes the wait longer and stuff like that. So, yes, it's probably last time I was in the ER at Oslo, it was like 6-hour wait time. Had everything done and everything, then I was admitted to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, you know, people need to realize that I got a runny nose, let's go to the hospital. You know, you need to go to urgent care or a family doctor.
Yeah, and what's the really crazy thing? I tried to change the word there. Crazy thing was a lot of people will say, you know, I haven't been feeling good all week long. Monday I had this really bad cold, and it got a little worse on Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and then Friday night I decided I better go see a doctor.
There on a weekend night. It's like standing room only. People, it's their hangout.
And they'll wait for a full moon Friday night to go see the doctor at the emergency room. And they expect to get immediate treatment. So,
and then one other thing to consider on the memorial, they cannot turn anyone away.
Cannot.
So people that have no insurance go in there.
That is correct.
They get treated.
And they don't
and
pay.
there are some that don't pay their bills. Well, Oslo has to soak that in. You go to an urgent care, you have to pay when you're at urgent care.
Pay it out front. That's
right.
True.
So,
but also, I know when they built the new ER, you know, look at the old ER. It was a 12-bed facility ER.
Right.
Now I think it's like 30-something. And, you know, I know at one time they built the new ER where they can expand if they have to above the new ER. That's what I was told. I don't know how true it is or not.
Yeah, they're going to have to, because Oslo County is not going to get any smaller unless Camp Lejeune closes its doors.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That is correct.
Right.
When that happens, then, you know, Oslo County might lose a hospital too.
Oh.
Look at Bertie County.
Yep.
You know, the small hospitals are closing.
Mm-hmm.
But these other bigger hospitals, like I'm going to use UNC example, that came in a partnership with Oslo County. You know, New Hanover partnered with Pender County, and I think now New Hanover runs Pender County, the hospital there. Look at Jones County. Jones County don't have a hospital at all.
Nope.
Well, look what happened in Martin County. Theirs closed completely.
Yep. Martin too.
Yes.
So we need not, you know, bite off more. I mean, we need to be careful about you know.
We just need to figure a way to get more people in here, more
Yes.
doctors in here for these
Yes.
folks that are coming in to move into Jacksonville, want to move here. We need to maybe we just ought to screen them.
Yeah.
Unless you've got something to offer, like at a hospital,
Right.
you ain't coming.
Don't bite the hand that heals us, is
That's
what
right.
I was trying to
That
say.
is correct. Like I said, I had bad experience personally with family members, and I had good experience. My mom had a massive heart attack in 2005. She
Wow.
coded on EMS en route to the hospital. The doctor there is Dr. Miller. He was an old doctor. The nurses that, was there took care of her. They transported her to Vidant. I
Yeah.
don't like Vidant Hospital at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to be thankful that there is a hospital that they can treat you, or if they know they can't handle it, they're going to ship you out.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't treat mine, so I did get shipped out, and I ended up in New Bern, as so many cardiac patients do. And let me tell you this, New Bern's got its issues too. My cardiologist,
Yeah.
a great cardiologist, she did work on me. She was the number one person as far as I was concerned, because I still am kicking. And she had the label as being number one. Well, she's got moved to, I kept her for a year for my next checkup. Then she was gone. She was recruited to go to San Francisco. She's in major big time stuff now. And that's what happens. They'll move into an area, whether it's Onslow, Craven, or anywhere else. Carteret's got a great hospital, but they get recruited. They go in there and headhunters will go in there and snatch them up.
Yes.
That's the way it works.
They're going to go to the bigger hospitals.
Look at police chiefs. Look at
Same thing.
all the other professionals.
Yeah.
They're good. They're going to recruit you.
Cash dogs, BS walks, right?
That's true.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But we're supposed to the snow's supposed to taper off at probably about 1 or 2 o'clock.
Now, you're in Ohio, right?
Yeah, send us pictures. That's all
Yeah,
I only snow I
watched-
want.
I
Pictures.
watched my weather storm chasers yesterday in Kansas and Missouri. Boy, did they have their hands full. God,
Well,
it's
bless
so-
their heart.
South of us has, I think south of us, Circleville, I think it's Pickaway County, that's the next county over, they have almost 9 inches of snow.
Bless their hearts.
You guys need some snow, I'll ship it to you.
Yeah, I do that. Put it in a jug that when it melts, it'll be okay.
That's
I can
right.
use the water.
Yes.
Be safe, guys.
All right, you too,
Thank
Phil.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, Lord of mercy. Well,
Lou,
what an
Lou,
interesting Monday
Your
morning.
breath stinks. God. Phew.
She's
I don't know what she's been eating, but.
probably some of that stuff that I threw out in the backyard last year.
Oh, is it fish?
No, it was.
Lucy needs some toothpaste.
It's been almost a week since an American terrorist skirted lax security in New Orleans, as we learned over the weekend.
Yes.
Lax security.
Very lax.
That chief out there, that superintendent or whatever she's called, needs to be gone.
I didn't know we had those.
You did what?
Barriers.
Since 2017? Oh.
Yeah, she's gone.
14 people killed who were celebrating the arrival of the new year. 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar drove a rented pickup truck along Bourbon Street, running down those on and along the street before finally coming to a halt. Then Jabbar got out of the truck and began shooting at the police. That was his final mistake. The officers fired back. He's dead. Along with his 14 victims, about 36 others were struck and injured during the attack. They ranged in age from 18 to 63. Most were in their 20s. The FBI and a number of other law enforcement agencies with all sorts of funny letters have been running around doing background checks. They have put together a timeline for Jabbar. Okay, he lived in Houston in a section of the city that was primarily Muslim. His half-brother told investigators that at some point in time recently, it had become obvious that Jabbar had become radicalized. Last July of 24, he flew to Cairo, Egypt. In early June, when he returned, he went to Ontario. Agents say they know that in October and November, he drove to New Orleans twice, apparently recording video using smart glasses of Bourbon Street.
That's crazy.
He also drove to Tampa on a couple of occasions during the same time frame. Jabbar has experienced financial problems, having gone through his third divorce back in 2021. The FBI is maintaining that they have no evidence that Jabbar had an accomplice in the attack in New Orleans. But the Bureau also says they want to know where he went, who he went with, and how those trips may or may not tie into his actions in New Orleans. That's New Orleans for some of you, or New Orleans for others. The agency is investigating whether Jabbar had any associates in the United States or overseas. But he acted alone, they say. Publicly, the agents say they have nothing to show a connection with an accomplice. That they're telling us. At the same time, they admit that they are still looking into potential associates in the United States and outside these United States. Confused? Join the crowd. One interesting aspect, a fire that was discovered at a place that Jabbar had rented in New Orleans, discovered at 5:30 a.m., 2 hours after Jabbar's attack on Bourbon Street. Agents say they believe Jabbar set the fire before his attack began. That was a slow-burning fire.
Yeah.
Also seems the agents found 2 locations in the French Quarter where they say Jabbar has placed 2 bombs, IEDs, but he was not able to trigger them. They found them, luckily. For me, I'm happy the FBI and whatever other alphabet agencies that are working on this case outside our borders are at least sharing as much of the information as they can. It makes me feel comfortable just knowing that they're talking with us. As we've heard a couple times from one of our friends, retired FBI agent John Legato, prior to 9/11, Minnesota FBI agents tried to pass information to headquarters on several occasions that the intel they were getting was that terrorists were going to fly hijacked airliners into buildings in the United States.
Yeah.
The brass up the line said it couldn't happen. They poo-pooed it. The brass up the line after 9/11, those guys got promoted, one in particular. Those kinds of stories concern me. It's bad enough that we as Americans do not notify authorities about possible bad people doing bad things. I preached, others have preached. If you see something amiss, please reach out, say something. The bad elements we have living among us are not petty thieves, moonshiners, or drug dealers. Yes, those people are there. But these bad actors are terrorists. Given that Jabbar was a well-respected member of the U.S. Army, joining the Army Reserves after serving 8 years with the regular Army, you would have thought better of this man. With the hundreds of thousands of military personnel in this country, with those in this community, not to mention the prior military, the retired military, there are distinct possibilities and opportunities for bad actors to try and recruit folks right here. It's likely going on under our noses. If you see something, if you know something, if you've been approached, even if you have strong suspicions, now, not later, now is the time to say something. A retired cop, a friend from decades ago, a former political leader in this community, we were chatting about a couple people we know. One of those, I'll admit, even when he was serving on a governing board in this county, I had my concerns. I still do. Another one he mentioned, I agreed with him about the possibilities. I had no personal information about the third guy. I hope that I never hear that one of these people does anything evil that perhaps one of the two of us or others could have prevented had we stepped forward. All we've got are our suspicions. The hair stands up on the back of our necks. It happens. Happens with normal citizens. It damn sure happens with cops.
Yes.
Ex-cops.
Yes.
I don't have anything definitive right now about it, but you can bet that I'll be paying closer attention to all 3 of these individuals now that we're talking about them. And if I see something that warrants attention, I will be sending up smoke signals in a heartbeat.
Well, I had to stop and think about what you're saying. And I do know exactly what you're talking about. It's like we had one person that was running for an elected position that was talking about driving tanks down the streets and throwing out bombs, you know. I mean,
we had one individual right in here. We've had 2 of those individuals right in here in the studio.
Yes, yes. And
one of them I put against the wall, basically.
and then we had another one that was running for federal office.
Yep,
that
was one of them.
Was not being truthful with us.
He was a liar.
And was hiding some stuff.
Oh, he's a liar.
And I guess he knew after he left the studio that we were on to him because he had to do a video on us. I'm still laughing over that one.
Bless his heart. I thank him for that. We appreciate
it. Yeah. But so you have to really vet your candidates. But nowadays, nobody can even think they might want to run for something before somebody has got everything on them.
Yeah, well, I hope
Hopefully,
they do.
Yes.
I hope they do because it gives us lots of things to talk about.
Well, there's a few that if they decide they're going to run again,
After last week's attack, military installations across the nation were told to tighten up.
Yes.
Those orders were received loud and clear at Camp Lejeune, Marine Corps Air Station, New River, and the Cherry Point Marine Air Wing. Please, folks, if you've got to go aboard any or want to go aboard any one of those locations, have your required military ID cards ready as you approach any of the gates. If you forgot your ID, you ain't getting on base.
That's right.
The Trusted Traveler Program, do you remember that, had allowed DoD-affiliated sponsors to vouch for other occupants within the same vehicle to gain entry onto an installation. No longer.
No longer.
With the suspension of the program, everyone entering the installation must have a valid form of Department of Defense identification, such as a common access card. Those who do not have identification will have to report to the visitor center to request access, and you better come with some good information. And if you think you don't have to have your ID when you show up,
you're wrong.
You might want to leave home a little earlier. With the new security measures in place, good chances that you're going to run into a delay.
Right.
On occasion.
I think it's going to be like this way for at least the entire month of January because you've got a lot of things coming up. Today's the certification of the election.
Yep.
And the 20th is the inauguration of the new president.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a fun time. Security there is going to be really tight. And
I'd do it in the basement. I'm just saying.
No, I wouldn't. He's not going to do it. You know, why would he? But you can rest assured the helicopters that are going to be flying overhead are going to be manned with individuals who know what they're doing.
Right.
And you're going to have surveillance drones.
Right. Theo, it's going to be rough no matter. I just say
there's going to be a lot of activity going on. And
I would stay away from any place that's going to be a lot of people.
Yeah. Theo, you're back. How are you?
Yeah, DePaul, how we doing today?
Hey, dear.
So where's your commentary on January 6th, Mr. Unaffiliated?
We've talked about it so much.
About January 6th so much, and I have done some more commentaries on that than I've done on any one other topic.
Yes.
Yeah, but today's the anniversary.
We just got through talking about the events of today and what's going on today.
Yeah, but okay. So what do you got to say about January 6th? What do you think about it? Your opinion?
You know, we've still got about, 12, 13, 14 hours to go, I guess. 15 hours to go for January 6th today.
Why is that?
Because in midnight, it will not be January 6th anymore.
Okay, so what do you got to say about January 6th 4 years ago? People who incited an insurrection.
Okay, well, you have your interpretation of it. I have a couple of interpretations of it. I have a man that was so distraught about losing what he thought that he should have won, that he did not win, but he would not. He was in a state of denial. He's not the only person to have ever been like that, but he was so distraught that a group of individuals and he got together and they started asking people to come to Washington. Let's go tell them not to certify the election.
That's a peaceful transfer?
Hold on a minute.
That's a peaceful transfer?
Just a minute.
2 weeks after the election. That's a peaceful transfer, right?
Just a minute.
Exactly what's going to happen today, right?
Just a minute.
Yes.
You didn't let me finish.
Go ahead.
And I said that was the stupidest move that any one individual would have ever made for a president, the chief executive officer, the head dude, the commander-in-chief of this country to have been involved in any form or fashion in that was despicable.
Very good. Keep going.
Hold on.
Good.
Hold on. Was it criminal? That would be a tough one to prove and a tough one for me to get my hand around, because he also told them, he used the magic words, do everything peacefully. He told them to be peaceful in it.
Really?
Yeah, he did. There's
Yeah,
some
it's-
video
it's-
recordings of it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure you've seen them, or maybe you
That's
ignored them.
been
But
verified.
anyway, it's there. But
Okay,
that,
keep going.
but he should not have done it in the first place. Okay, so he did it. But here's where the mistake number 2, or maybe 3 or 4, the next mistake comes into being. He did not stand up there with a bullhorn in his hand, with screaming at the top of his lungs, telling the people to stop, cease and desist. This is out of control. You are out of control. There were radical individuals out there that should have been stopped by law enforcement right up front. They should have had, first of all, the National Guard should have been called out, knowing that even this number of individuals were being assembled. They should have called them out, but whatever, that's hindsight. However, Donald J. Trump should have taken the bull by the horns at that point in time and started screaming at the top of his lungs, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I condoned. If he had been the man that I would have been, that's what I would have done. Okay. Now, what else can I say?
I agree with you,
I don't know. What else do you want to say? Is that it?
No, I've probably got plenty more to say, but that's all I'm going to say. I got 4 minutes to go.
We're going to beat this dead horse.
All right. Okay. Very good. The other thing I want to know is by Lee.
Yes.
He had a party Saturday night. Did you know that?
I didn't get invited.
No, I do not recall that. I was busy this weekend watching other things.
You're always watching everything. You're too busy for that
I
one.
don't sit there and watch what he does. I watch what the Congress does. I watch what the weather's doing. I watch criminal trials. I don't watch what.
We had attacks on this country last week.
That's right.
We still have people out there waiting
Still
to attack
watching
us
that.
now.
Yes.
That's what I'm concerned about. I'm not even, actually,
I
to
could
be
care
honest
less
with you,
about his
I don't
party.
care what occurred 4 years ago as far as that's concerned. That's being.
Oh, really?
Hold on.
You just ruined everything.
Hold on.
You just ruined everything.
Hold on.
Okay?
Because that's over and done with. They're working on that. Whoever's
It's
going
not
to work
over.
on it.
It's not over, my friend. We will never forget.
We
Just
should
like
never
do
forget.
9/11 every year. 9/11,
It's
you're
part
going to
of
see January 6th every year.
I'm not going to forget 9/11. I'm not going to forget December 7th, 1941.
Okay.
I'm not going to forget a whole lot of things. But I'm
Okay.
not going to dwell on them. I am going to dwell on that tomorrow we may have another attack on Western Boulevard. We
That's
may
right.
have somebody
Listen.
storm the gates at Camp Lejeune. I do
Listen.
not know. That's what I'm concerned
keep-
about. What's
You
next?
keep talking about terrorism,
Yes.
and you talk about 9/11. When Logano was in office, what year did he get out from the FBI?
Well, Legato, it's been out for what, 15 years now, 10 years? I forgot. He was in 9/11, yes, if that's what you're looking for.
So 9/11 happened on his watch, right?
Yes.
Okay, so since 9/11, because he's always complaining about the FBI, they never do anything right, and nobody's any good. But since 9/11 till now, we have no problems, right?
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Okay.
Yes. We've had
What attack do we have?
okay,
What?
we've had people intercepted. We had people coming in from Canada getting ready to blow up the Space Needle. We got them. We've had people to come into this country that we
Did
caught them.
anything happen? That's
They
what the
stopped
FBI
it.
and the intelligence units are for, to prevent
That's
this kind of stuff. Did anything happen after 9/11 here?
Yeah,
What?
can I go back to last Wednesday morning at 3:15 in New Orleans? Where were you?
Listen, this is the lies that this is the lies that Fox News and you decided. This was a U.S. American citizen.
Yes, it was.
And
What's that got to do with
officer, and you're putting it on the immigration. That's a lie.
I didn't put it on
Okay, you gotta
immigration. I
accept-
didn't put it
you
on.
gotta
I
accept
did
the lie.
not. What are you talking about? How about this?
Okay.
How about Mr. McVeigh out there in Oklahoma City? He was an American citizen too.
Okay. So don't pull the wool over our eyes about immigration when both of those guys, okay, were American citizens, born American citizens, and in the military.
and
Okay.
and radicalized.
Okay. Very good. Nice try. You said a few good words and then you ruined it. Okay.
I have a question.
Sorry to disappoint you,
I
Theo.
have a
question.
again with me.
I have a question, Theo. Are you going to watch the certification today? Are you going to watch Kamala certified that
No,
Trump
we
beat
got no
her?
problem with that. We're not election deniers.
Yeah,
The
okay.
party that I'm talking about that he had the other night, Saturday, was for John Eastman, the guy who originated the whole thing with Giuliani, and they're both disbarred,
I have
and yet
no
they're
clue.
still with Trump. If I was disbarred because of Trump, why would I be there? They're both disbarred, and you had Navarro who went to jail, all those kind of people, all Republicans.
Well,
You know what I mean?
he
So
could
that's
still
the
be
kind of party
friends.
he had in our face.
He could
A
still
party
be
with
friends.
these people who tried to turn the election, Rayford.
I
Okay?
would never ditch you as a friend just because we don't agree on a lot.
These people acted against America. Okay? All right? So you guys have a good year. To be continued. I got a lot more.
Okay, Theo, I'm sure you do.
Bye, Theo. Okay,
You got to love Theo.
I do.
And you know, for those that when Theo calls, they say, I mean, if you knew him personally, you would really like Theo. He's such a great guy.
Yeah, he's nice, calm, cool, and collected.
Yes. And we have a difference in opinions when it comes to
But
politics.
we like the same foods. It's good.
Yeah.
And speaking of foods,
Yes.
let me tell you what. You got three choices right now in Swansburg that you need to go try out. If you want to go for lunch,
yes.
why don't you go for lunch today? By the bridge.
Yes.
It's, you're coming across the bridge from Cape Carteret or Cedar Point, wherever, coming into Swansburg across the bridge. Now it's it's the first bridge leaving. It's the last bridge coming into
That's
Swansburg.
right.
Then put your right turn signal on, be in the right-hand lane. Put your right turn signal on as you're approaching the edge of the bridge, and then turn into the first driveway.
Right.
If you happen to miss that one, you can turn into the second one, and you can park
right.
there or drive right on back around. And this place called By the Bridge is in a little complex there. And they got some good little stuff for lunch. They got some really cool stuff out there. You can get a shrimp basket. You can get some conch fritters. You can have all that for lunch.
Ooh.
You can have more. You can have a full meal if you want it.
Yes.
You can go by and if you want to celebrate today's election certification, go by there. You can do that. Take some friends down, have a drink or have a glass of wine, whatever you want. You can do that if you want to.
Right.
Or you can go cry in your beer. If you want to
you
do
can
that,
do
that's
that
fine
too.
too. If you want to look out there at the water and say, God, that stuff is so rough today, but it's going to get better.
Yes.
And I know the weather's going to it's going to get colder, but it's going to get warmer again. You can do that right there.
Warm
Sit
for
right
one day.
there and by the bridge and watch it all.
There's nothing nicer than to sit there
There's a
and
nice
eat
little-
good food
nice-
and watch the water.
And a nice little park right there.
Yes. Steed Park? No.
Too. It's a
Steve.
nice little
What is the
park
park in
right there.
Swansboro?
Yeah, right there on the water. Go by and
Right.
take a look at it.
Steed is in
If you
Richlands.
really want to have a little stroll, you can walk down towards the water and walk underneath that same big old bridge that I told you could drive across and walk on over and hang around, and you can have dinner at the Burrow restaurant.
Right.
Right there. You'll show up right there at the Burrow. We'll talk about the Burrow tomorrow because the food that they've got, I've been eating there for years now, years and years and years.
Well, my sister and I were talking this weekend, and we think Randy needs to open up a seafood restaurant right in the heart of Jacksonville.
No,
Yes.
I want to go to, but there's such good entertainment available. Steve, our friend, he
He can come to Jacksonville and
performed-
sing.
No, he can't. He's not allowed.
What?
He's not allowed here. He doesn't have the right credentials to get into Jacksonville.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
He's been here.
He's been restricted. But anyway, at Swansboro, at the Burrow, we'll talk about that one tomorrow, but they've got such great food there.
Yes, they
And if you
do.
want a steak, and not often you go to a place
Pan
that's
fried. I'm going to make one for
it's not
dinner
pan
tonight.
fried. It's
Without
pan cooked. It's
pan seared, is pan cooked.
There you
pan.
go.
Right.
It's in a cast iron pan, and it comes out juicy. And you want it rare? They gotta have it rare.
I'm a Southern girl. When you talk about cast iron, I talk about fried.
Well, they don't put no grease in there to fry it up.
No,
That's what you got
a
to
little
do.
butter.
They got their steak is so good you don't have to put anything in there
I
except
think
this,
you should
the
do steaks
seasoning.
for men who cook. Men who
Oh
cook.
no, that's expensive.
I think we should get a recipe from Randy. Let him come in with us. Go ahead.
Oh, that might be a good idea. I got to find out now what I'm going to cook. I don't have long to do it. I got to assemble it and test it and do all that sort of good stuff first. I got to test it several times because it never comes out right the first time.
And I'm sure that we can be your taste testers.
You can.
Very
I
good.
hope you survive. Anyway, we will see you tomorrow. Who do we have? Nobody yet, right?
Not as of yet, but the rest of the week is pretty
looked
packed.
up. We got Dr. Rose and Peter Wright on Wednesday.
That's right.
The dynamic duo is back in different parts of the world.
We have on Thursday Chief Tallman, Chief of the
From the
Jacksonville
Fire Office.
Fire Office. Yes, I can't wait to have him. And on Friday, we have a good friend, Trevor Donnell. He used to be the editor of the Jacksonville Daily News.
And
now
other papers.
And other papers, yes. And now he's the PIO of the Onslow County Sheriff's Office. And I just can't wait to hear his stories of being a newspaper man.
As one of those podcasters would say,
yes,
they're called a military thing, the POA.
the PO. Yeah, well,
No, it's
okay.
not POA, dude.
It's
You were in the military. You should know that. It's
Well, anyway,
PAO, Public Affairs
Have
Office.
we not seen a huge difference in the information being put out
It's
by the
timely.
sheriff's office?
It's timely.
I mean, very transparent.
Yeah.
Plus, all the other little things that are not criminal. They're fun stuff, and
It's little stories
just
about what's
stuff,
going on
yeah.
behind the scenes, which
it's
is great to know.
it has been. It's been awesome.
Yep.
So
Anyway,
can't wait to hear
we'll
Trevor's
find
stories.
something to bash him about tomorrow. What do you think?
No, we're not going to bash
Yeah,
him.
we are, 'cause
No, we're not.
I bet you Chris Miller can give me some
I've already
insight.
told him we were not bashing him for anything.
You
in
can't
this.
speak for
No,
me.
we're not. We're not doing it now.
You can't speak for me.
And we're not
married.
taking calls. People saying ugly things about the Daily News. He's not there anymore.
What's he got to do with Daily News?
That's right.
Nothing, honey.
That's right. Don't talk bad about
We'll
Trevor.
see you tomorrow morning. Save up your phone calls and
Phew.
be nice or not. Whatever.
Oh, County Commissioner meeting this morning, 11 a.m. You can watch it on YouTube or you can watch it on G10.
Or you can go there in person.
Or you can go to Onslow County government page and they show it there. And I'll try to remember to share it to our
Did you
page for those
forget
who want to
say
watch
they
it.
could be there in person.
Oh, you can be there in person.
And then if you're there in person, you can get up and say something if you got something you want to say.
Yeah, it could be there early enough to sign up for public speaking.
Just sign up whether you say anything.
And
or not.
Lord have mercy, I hope that young lady, bless her heart, last two meetings have gotten up their public comment and spent 5 minutes talking about things that don't have anything to do with county commissioners' control or
Yeah,
anything.
keep it on topic
And,
if you would, please.
and I mean, I appreciate that she has the courage to do that and that she uses her voice. But please, commissioners, would you please gavel her and tell her, unless it has something to do with what's on the agenda, to sit down?
Yeah, well,
That's a
that should be
painless-
just comment, but you know, if they got
Yeah.
a chance, they want to get up and talk.
Yes.
Now, if anybody wants to have some fun, why don't
All
you
right.
go up there and put my name down that I want to have something to say. I won't be there, but you can write my name down that
They probably won't mind as long as you don't bring up the lifeguards again.
but I'm not going to be there.
You're not
What do you
gonna
mean?
be
Oh yeah, is that okay? They're in the budget session now. My
Oh,
friends,
the lifeguards.
let's get some lifeguards. We
Every
need
time you say lifeguards, I get a phone call going,
again. See, now you brought it up. It's your fault. So whoever calls you, you tell them it's your fault. You take the blame for that one. You're
Okay.
live and local, real
I
talk.
will.
Right here, we are live. We're always awake. We're never woke. See you in
Yeah.
the morning.